Our first speaker this afternoon will be Mr. Bill Robertson. Mr. Robertson worked with Isothermal Planning and Development Commission, which is now known as Foothills Regional Commission, and until his retirement in 2013 was involved in the administration of federal workforce development programs in our region. This meant every time a facility filed a notice letting the state know that they would be laying off employees, or even worse, closing operations altogether, that Mr. Robertson and several partners would visit the facility and meet with employees, the affected employees, oftentimes one-on-one, to make them aware of training and employment opportunities that were available for them. So it's my privilege today to introduce you to Mr. Bill Robertson.
So my name's Bill Robertson. As she said, I was the director of the workforce development programs at Isothermal Planning and Development Commission for a good while, and I retired a while back, and they keep calling me back, so I'm back helping out with some things. But just a background of most of you folks know the history of the textile industry. It was developed early in the 20th century and was really responsible for the development of the manufacturing economy in the county. And it basically created its own workforce by building those communities. A lot of the mill towns that are around were basically built by the textile industry, which reduced the need for transportation and helped the workforce, basically. And it actually established some of the communities like Cliffside, Henrietta, Spindale. It was actually named after a textile manufacturing process of spinning. Textile industry went through some major ups and downs through the decades, leading up to about 1999. And then in 1999, manufacturing went through a major transition, not just textiles, but furniture. Textiles and furniture were probably the biggest hit, but other manufacturing also took a pretty big hit. And it began in earnest with the closure of stonecutter mills in Spindale in 1999. Nationwide, there was about 4 million jobs lost during that period. One of the main causes for the downsizing of the textile industry and furniture was a lot of the demand for lower prices by consumers. Technology led to higher productivity that reduced the need for workers. Supply chain issues, and a lot of people blame, and rightfully so, international global trade, GATT and NAFTA, which moved a lot of the jobs to Mexico first, and then after that they moved on to China and Asia. Those kinds of transitions. In the manufacturing segment of the economy in Rutherford, we're talking Rutherford County now. In 2001, that's the farthest data back I could get, there were 9,253 manufacturing jobs in the county, which made up about 29% of the county's workforce of then about 31,000 people. 2023, just last year, there were 2,940 manufacturing jobs in the county, which represents a loss of about 6,300 jobs. The total workforce in Rutherford County currently is about 24,000 people, and that's down by about 6,200 jobs from 2021, which represents the loss of the manufacturing jobs in the county. The beginning of the collapse of the textile and furniture industry This is the data that I've been able to come up with. The closures and major layoffs, continued for about a decade. There is a requirement for industries called the WARN Act, which is the Worker Retraining and Adjustment Notification Act, that requires businesses to notify workers and the state agencies if more than 50 workers are affected by a layoff. There are some exceptions, but many closures happened overnight without any warn notices. And some workers simply showed up to work and were told the plant was closing, or in some cases the gates were closed with no notice. And this started happening right after 1999. When layoffs or closures occurred, the rapid response partners, which we were a part of the rapid response team, would organize meetings. Primary partners included workforce development staff, which were my folks who administered and operated the federal workforce programs that have provided resources for training. Community college staff that provided information about programs that they have, both curriculum training, which could be up to 2 years worth of training, continuing education, short-term training for certificates, high school diploma and basic skills opportunities. And the other main partner was the Employment Security Commission staff. They were known as the Employment Security Commission at the time, not now. Provided information about unemployment insurance, job search assistance, and additional training program information. And when possible, partners would meet with management and schedule face-to-face information sessions with the workers, either at the facility or other locations. In the cases where there was little time and the employees were gone from the facility, we would schedule meetings in other locations. This room is one of them. We had many sessions in this room, periodic sessions over several days. Partners would provide information about services that were available and how to access those services. The information included access to funds to assist with retraining through then what was the Workforce Investment Act, the Trade Readjustment Act, Pell Grants, and other financial aid. Information about careers and training that was available, career guidance, aptitude testing, interest assessments, high school diploma programs and GED programs, information regarding health care. At the time, there were funds available for dislocated workers to continue with their health care for a period of time until they could get reestablished. Job search assistance, developing resumes, information regarding unemployment insurance and other social service needs. There were thousands of individuals that took advantage of the training opportunities, and many of the workers, as many of you know, went to work in the textile industry before they graduated from high school. So a lot of them didn't have high school diplomas. So one of the first things we would say to a group of dislocated workers, if you don't have your high school diploma, you got to get it. Because if you want to continue in the workforce, many employers are now going to require high school diploma, not only high school diploma, but training in other areas. So the college campuses at the time were packed. I mean, if you could come to this campus in between 1999 and 2008, you could barely find a place to park. I mean, they were parking on the grass out here, and a lot of that was the high school programs, the high school GED and programs. Back to the information sessions that we had when we would go visit with the affected workers at the plants to provide information. one of the best experiences we had. Of course, at the time, Cone Mills had, 5 plants in the county? They employed, 1,200 people in the county? More than that? More than that. The biggest private sector employer in the county. But the way the management at the Cliffside plants enabled access to the information that we were provided was great. I mean, it was phenomenal. Terry Hines, he's sitting right there, was responsible for that. And Mark Franklin, too. I saw him here earlier. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Terry and Mark, they're heroes, I mean, to me. I mean, they just are. This whole process of the downsize of the textile industry lasted about a decade, from 99 to about 2007, and then comes the financial collapse of 2008, and we started over again. Well, not with textiles, but with other industries, and this process kept going and kept going. And during this period, back before 2007, Rutherford County had several months had an unemployment rate of about 18%. You think about the Great Depression, the national unemployment rate hovered around 25%. So in Rutherford County, it's 18%. It's getting pretty close to that Depression era unemployment rate. So we were quite busy for a long time. As a matter of fact, during this time, keep in mind too, our folks, we didn't just serve Rutherford County, we served 4 counties. We were doing this in Cleveland County, in Rutherford County, in Polk County, and in McDowell County. Furniture, big time furniture closures in McDowell County. So at one point I thought we were going to have counseling for the staff that were dealing with it, because it was tough on them. They saw a lot of success. Thousands of people that we served got retraining in manufacturing processes and a lot of health care. I bet we helped 500 nurses become nurses during that period of time. So it was significant. I think we had a pretty significant impact. Back to the unemployment rate, 18% during this period of time. Rutherford County rate right now is 4.7%, which is really higher than some of our surrounding counties. Cleveland is in the 3s, McDowell's in the 3s, I think. The state's unemployment rate is 3.3 and the nation is 3.6. So we're at 4.7 from a high of 18%. COVID increased that a good bit, but it wasn't quite 18%, but it was pretty high. There's still opportunities in manufacturing, and manufacturing jobs now has become more technical, requires more skills, which means more training, more lifelong learning, and artificial intelligence is here, unfortunately. I'm a little afraid of it. But the skills that you need in manufacturing now require technology, computer skills, digital, meaning internet, being able to work through the internet, programming skills and robotics and automation, critical thinking and problem-solving skills, and there are much fewer lower-skilled jobs in manufacturing that simply require you to tend a machine, as some of the older traditional textile and furniture manufacturing jobs required. The manufacturing jobs pay better now too, so better than most industries. So that's my thing, and thank you, Terry, Mark, and Vince, the new face of manufacturing in the county, Vince Reese.
Thank you, Bill. Go ahead and get that on there. So, yeah, thank you so much. So next I would like to introduce a man who has been involved in the textile industry for over 50 years, Mr. Mike Walker. Mike began his career as a quill skinner at the Cone Mills Haynes plant while still in high school. He then worked second shift as a filling dolpher. And if you want to know what either of those jobs are, I suggest you ask Mike about that. Ask Mike or Terry. I have no clue. Once he was finished with high school, he was chosen by Spindle Mills for their management training program through ICC. He worked at Mastercraft Corporation as an apprentice weave drafter and designer, and then became a research and development manager. He's currently employed with Manual Woodworkers and Weavers in their research and development department, and is also involved in economic development of Rutherford County as one of our board members. Please welcome Mr. Mike Walker.
Hello, some familiar faces out there. This is a story of how, instead of the demise of the textile business, what we're trying to revitalize the textile industry in Rutherford County and surrounding counties. So I work at the Hendersonville plant of Manual Woodworkers and Weavers and the Spindale plant, and we have satellite offices all around the world. So it's a internet world, so you have to just jump right in there with it. The American textile industry has had a lot of ups and downs since the early 1900s. Coal-burning electrical plants helped to start a trend in the southern states. Reasonable wages and a labor base created an environment for textiles to sprout in the South. The town of Spindale, North Carolina, was no exception. Several textile facilities bloomed in the Spindale area. Labor was plentiful, and women were a major part of this textile industry at that time. Train rails rolled into the town of Spindale to deliver bulk textiles, and multiple textile buildings emerged on the corner of Main Street and Spindale Street. A completely vertical textile facility emerged in 1916, and it became Spindale Mills. Spindale Mills was an excellent employer. I worked for them, and a good community neighbor for decades. It did a lot of work with the communities. What happened to Spindale Mills? Spindale Mills survived many years of depressions, wars, and recessions, and came out stronger with each trial. A man-made catastrophe, NAFTA-CAFTA, I know everybody's heard of this, caused the demise of Spindale Mills and several other textile manufacturers in Rutherford County. In late 1998, Spindale Mills, New Cherokee, Dan River, that all combined, closed the doors for the final time, leaving an empty dinosaur to rot away. I have been in the textile industry for 51 years. I know I don't look it, but I've seen a lot of dramatic changes in this industry. Shuttle looms have been replaced with high-speed rapier looms and airjet looms. Shuttle looms that used to crank out 80 picks per minute are now producing 1,000 picks per minute or more in rapier and airjet looms. Artwork, which I'm directly involved with from my Mastercraft years all the way to now, artwork for jacquard designing that used to take weeks to produce are now down to minutes because of the CAD systems, and everything is just working off the speed of the computers. I helped to develop one of the first textile design systems. It was called Raxon, and this was in the early 1990s. And just seeing the speed of this develop from this is just so astronomical. Now there's CAD systems everywhere. Macintosh. Simple rotary printers have replaced with a high-speed digital printers that can produce hundreds of different designs in a matter of minutes. There's a perfect example. Digital printers used to print about 1 inch at a time. This one can produce 12 inches at a time, and we have a couple of our newer machines at the Spindale plant that has a print head that can at 18 inches. So this is definitely a much more higher speed than what can normally be produced. This is just one. We produce probably between 4,000 and 8,000 pillows, quilts, comforters a day. Manual woodworkers and weavers is kind of like a rooms to go. We're the accessories to go with the room. A new beginning. Manual woodworkers and weavers needed manufacturing space and liked the idea of dyeing their own yarns and controlling their own inventory. The Spindale Mills facility, which had closed down, had a working dye house within its buildings, so a deal was struck to purchase the entire facility on April 1st, 1999. The facility was far from pristine. Before manufacturing could proceed, the facility would need a new roof. The life of any building is the roof. The main structures of the roof in itself were in dire need of replacing. The facility resembled a swimming pool after each rain. With financial assistance and cooperation through Rutherford County Economic Development Group, I have several members here, and I greatly appreciate this. Thank you, and the employees, thank you. A new roof emerged on the facility. Yarn dyeing and sewing were part of this new facility. And it started May 30th, 1999, a mere 60 days after the purchase of the building and the roof. A major achievement, but a minor miracle. MWW, Manual Workers and Weavers, plodded along for a while with these new operations, but weaving and sewing home products was a maturing business. When I mean maturing, I mean we about had it maxed out. Something needed to happen for Manual Workers and Weavers to continue to be a leader in the home textile business. What is Manual Workers and Weavers? Strange name. Manual Workers and Weavers is a third generation, family-owned business that started in 1932. The Oates family, first generation, started the business in Bat Cave, North Carolina, going to gift shows and selling trinkets, handmade wood products at gift shows. The second generation built a state-of-the-art weaving plant in Hendersonville, North Carolina in the mid-90s and made home textiles, blankets, quilts, throws, pillows for the mom and pop industry and for some national retailers. This business has matured also, so what's next? The third generation of Oates were more tech savvy and developed a plan of attack to revolutionize Manual Workers and Weavers into a leading make-on-demand weaving and printing operation. With the newest IT innovations, high-speed internet available worldwide, and the creative minds of Manual Workers and Weavers, MWW On Demand was born. The internet, computer technology, and creative innovation, mechanical speeds and processes have revolutionized the textile industry into what it is today. Products that used to take months to produce are down to minutes to achieve. Manual Woodworkers and Weavers is on the leading edge of this industrial revelation. We strive to remain atop this industry by purchasing state-of-the-art equipment, constantly updating our IT capabilities, and making products that are up to date with our customers, with the industry at a very fast pace. Through close relationships with our customer bases, we are producing new, innovative products that the consumer continues to gobble up at a fast pace if our economy is left alone. Sorry about that. Manual Woodworkers and Weavers has made a multi-million-dollar investment in the Spindale facility with brand new state-of-the-art cutting, printing, sewing, and transferring equipment. We presently employ 120 employees, and during our peak season it grows to 175. There's an employment staffing company on site which assists with trying to maintain our employment needs, and that's another story. In 2008, the company started MWW On Demand. We were tasked as a company to weave, print, sew, and ship to our customer within a 3-day window. Many old school skeptics, me included, said no, ain't no way. But the third generation of Oates family, they were persistent, and we are now producing our products in Hendersonville, in Spindale, and several satellite operations worldwide. It's not only in here, we have satellite offices in multiple places. We have weathered several economic storms, and we believe that we are here to stay. Challenges and direction changes. Our busiest time of the year is, you guessed it, Christmas. From Black Friday until 1 week before Christmas, our business is booming. Our business will spike 400% during that 4-week time period. So it's just everybody is on deck. A few years back, on Thanksgiving Day, we received a call that a major equipment fire at the Spindale facility. The fire was extinguished by the sprinkler system and the Spindale Fire Department, but we lost one of our biggest and most productive pieces of equipment, which was probably that one you saw working there. Through perseverance from ownership, management, and loyal employees, we were back online and limping along with production while cleanup, maintenance, and rebuilding were proceeding. We weathered that storm. So what next? COVID. I know that's y'all's favorite word. COVID hit 2020 and 2021. What do? We thought it was going to get shut down. We started producing custom masks. Our customers gobbled them up. They loved them, and they met all the government requirements, but we still produced a lot of them. I can't remember the actual number, but it was substantial. We were concerned that the COVID issue would hurt our business in general. We were wrong. People were at home. They were bored. They were ordering stuff, make on demand, online, like it was crazy. Our business thrived during COVID. Who would have thought? Now, what's next for manual workers and weavers? I think it's a bright future. This year, we have made another step to the future by purchasing additional equipment and adding personnel for our custom apparel, make-on-demand line of products. So we're dealing back into apparel. This is smaller runs, make-on-demand, one-offs, basketball teams, but everybody's wanting them. And it's custom make-on-demand. It'll have your name, whatever team's name that you want on it. We're seeing substantial growth in this. We foresee this product line to continue, and more customers are coming on every day for this new product. And I'd like to thank y'all for allowing me to speak today. I have product out here in the try-on room. If anybody wants to see our line of product, you're welcome to come see it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. All right, our next presenter is Miss Samantha Walker, and she is a native of Rutherford County who experienced the fall of textiles as a middle schooler. Her parents had worked at Spindle Mills for a combined 25 years before it closed. She is now the office manager at White Oak Carpet Mills, where she has worked for 6 years. She also is a key member of the Foothills Manufacturing Alliance, which brings together other manufacturers in the county with a desire to promote manufacturing. Again, I want to thank Samantha for the idea to have this event and the time and effort that she has put into coordinating it. Miss Samantha Walker.
Hello, everyone. So, I'm Samantha. I am the office manager at White Oak Carpet Mills, and we are located in the old Mastercraft building that is on Ballpark Road. A lot of people refer to it as the Park Street plant or just the Park plant. The Mastercraft Corporation was started in New Jersey under the name Mastercraft Weaving Corporation. The company relocated to North Carolina as part of the growing furniture industry in the 60s. Preeminent textile pioneer Andrew Majors began working with Mastercraft Weaving in the 60s after being discharged from the Army in World War II. In the 60s, he became Mastercraft's president. In 69, he and Harry Turpin bought out the shareholders of the company. Under Major's leadership, Mastercraft Corporation became the world's largest jacquard manufacturer. Major retired in 1994 at the age of 74, but at the age of 74, he came out of retirement to help Cone Mills start their jacquard production line. Mastercraft closed in 2005. And we have some photos here. Laser pointer here. So the first photo I want to point out, this is the back side of a jacquard weaving loom showing the warp beam. It's a printed warp beam, and it was warp printing was a fabric production method which combines textile printing and weaving to create a distinctively patterned fabric. Up here at the top, this is also jacquard woven upholstery, and it's just kind of going through a quality check. And we also have some bolts of fabric and then another quality check as well. And these are photos that we found after we moved into the plant. This here is a back winder. So what it does is it takes the cones that are here at the bottom, it takes the yarn off and puts them onto die cones, which are then taken, in the dye house. This is package dyeing. So what they'll do is they will put the yarn down into the beck here, and using heat and pressure, it pushes the water and dye throughout the yarn and disperses it to get the color that you want. This is the backside of a warper. This is a creel of 288 cones would make up one beam, and this has 8 beams being run together to make a 2304 warp beam. White Oak Carpet Mills bought the 45.1 acre facility for $800,000 in 2015 with the goal to rebuild and revitalize the plant to fit their carpet manufacturing business. The estimated cost was $3.37 million to bring it up to code and everything that we needed. We tore down non-structural walls. So basically, any sheetrock and everything was taken out. We went back to the concrete bricks that were there. We put in new fire suppression system, new plumbing, a new roof has been added, but our biggest project was the dye house. The floor had started giving way, so we had to basically refloor the whole dye house, pour concrete. And in the process of this, we had a dye house in Hendersonville that we relocated to Spindle once the floor was done. We also shared the building with 2 additional businesses here in the county, Bigfoot Forklift and Bargain Barrel Store. We received a One North Carolina fund, which is $25,000 that the governor is a cash grant from the governor. These are based on the number of jobs created, level of investment, location, economic impact, and importance to the region of the state. They use the economic development tier system to encourage economic activity in the less prosperous areas of the state. Rutherford County is considered Tier 1, which is the top 40 most distressed counties in North Carolina. We also, Rutherford County also received $300,000 from the North Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority to reuse the building. So these are just some photos here of us redoing our dye house. The floor was completely gone, so we had to put in new beams, lay concrete, and this is our Bex after the floor had been redone. And this is just some demolition photos here. We tore out all of these offices back to the bare walls. We created our own front office, storage area, and then a sample area where we prepare samples to go out to customers. So, White Oak Carpet Mills. After all the renovations, we moved in the late 2017, early 2018. We are the leader in made-to-order custom wool carpets in the United States, and we offer a range of personalized patterns, qualities, and colors. White Oak was founded in 1996 by the Pack family of Polk County. Frank and Tom, father and son, were well known in the carpet industry as they had worked in different carpet mills across the United States. Tom Pack is the one who actually built our Variloom, is a proprietary piece of equipment. It allows us to run carpet quicker and at different pile heights and just make better patterns than others in the carpet industry. We soon became the main supplier to aircraft interior products, which is a division of Cap Carpet, Inc. Tom, our fearless leader at the time, worked with aircraft interiors to develop custom styles that set them apart from the competition. And that built the foundation that we still grow from today. In 2009, an opportunity for Cap Carpet, who owned Aircraft Interior, was presented for them to buy White Oak Carpet Mills. It was no question. Aaron jumped on it and bought us. Cap Carpet owns and continues to produce specialty wool carpets in Rutherford County, North Carolina. The company maintains its headquarters in Wichita and has been family owned and operated since 1967. So our process starts with the wool that we use. We use a primary blend from New Zealand of Romney and Parendale sheep. We also use a British wool, which comes from a little small town in the UK called Swaledale, and that's also what the yarn is called. Wool, is one of the best things to use because it is naturally hypoallergenic. It produces fewer dust particles, absorbs moisture to fight off dust mites, and absorbs volatile organic compounds. Once all of the tops are gathered from the herds, they are then sent to Portugal, where they are spun. Since we own our own dye house, we can dye whatever we want. We can do it in a timely fashion, a lot quicker than dealing with large dye houses out of Dalton. We do skein dyeing, unlike Mastercraft, who did the package dyeing. We keep approximately 70 colors in stock from our customers to choose from, or we can custom dye for them. The tufting, our carpet tufting, is done on our proprietary Variloom technology. This was invented by Tom Pack, and it is an exclusive process that creates visual dimensions by stitching variable pile heights at unprecedented speeds. We can achieve a unique look not attainable by traditional hand-woven or hand-knotted techniques. We next have shearing. From there, this basically cleans up. It takes off all the loose fibers it also cuts it down, and we can make our patterns pop. Finishing in latex is our final step. We use a pigmented latex, that's this purple here at the bottom, and we use that because it serves as a permanent barrier against the growth of black mold and unhealthy microorganisms. The point of latexing is to hold the carpet tough bind, that way you can't pull your carpet apart. Our customers, the majority of our customers are OEM, original equipment manufacturers, and the service centers that service them. We work closely with designers from Textile and Honda to provide them with designs that their customers will love. We also do aftermarket, and those are planes that have been owned 2 or 3 times, and you can pick pretty much whatever you want. If you like something, we can try to mimic it, or you can pick one of our designs. In this photo, I don't know if you can see it that well, is actually one of our carpet designs in an Embraer Legacy 600. We also do residential. You can have wall-to-wall installation, or you can have cutouts, for your hallway or your dining room. The scales are usually larger, but same thing as with aircraft, you can get pretty much whatever you want as long as it's in our capabilities. Moving forward, so these pictures here are actually 2 of the machines that we will be purchasing. We have purchased a total of 8 machines. The first one will be delivered by the end of the year. So we're all excited about that. When Cap Carpet purchased White Oak, company CEO Aaron Perner and White Oak President Tom Pack shared a clear and common vision for the future that was rooted in a desire to expand their operations in Rutherford County, which is steeped in textile heritage and with the abundance of skilled craftspeople who have worked in textiles for generations. There was no better place to grow from. Through an ongoing commitment to quality, innovation, and hard work, we continue to manufacture all of our products entirely in the United States. Our team is constantly growing as we work together to create textile art that lives inside of some of the most exclusive spaces in the world. We value the past as we embrace the future by investing in state-of-the-art technology and pairing it with superior handcrafted techniques that simply can't be made anywhere else. Thank you.
Thank you, Samantha. All right, last but not least, Ms. Rebecca Stevens. Over the past 25 years, Ms. Stevens has experienced the rise and fall of textiles firsthand, and if you'll believe it or not, all from the same office. She started her career with Mastercraft back in '98 in its building on Oakland Road in Spindale. Since Mastercraft's closure, that same building has housed both Diamondback Tactical and now Cardinal Tissue. Ms. Stevens has been blessed to work with all 3 companies and somehow managed to secure the same parking spot every time. It's a great pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Rebecca Stevens.
Wow. I'm not that old, really. So, as she told you, I was reading recently that in Europe, if you went to the library, instead of checking out a book, you could check out a person and they would tell you their life stories. So they invited me to speak today because I can talk to you about 207 Oakland Road because I've lived it. And I'm not sure what button to push. Did I do it or I didn't? Oh, thank you.
I got you. So get this one right here, I think. Yep. So
That one? Okay. I'm left-handed. Thank you. Okay. So just a little bit of history about the building, and this is way before my time, is that in 1974 this building was built. At that time, Scott Manufacturing, a plastic plant, moved in and began producing. It was then bought by Bus Bar Systems Corp., and they started making electric bus bars until they closed. And then in 1984, Collins and Aikman, Mastercraft Fabrics, purchased the building. Okay. So I was trying to decide, how do I explain why Mastercraft Fabrics to this day has people who's worked there, who has a Facebook page and has reunions every so many years. They still like to get together, and they still like to talk about working at Mastercraft Fabrics. I think one of the reasons was the longevity. They were over 20 years in the Oakland plant, and during that time, there were many people that had been there for the whole time. They might even have started at the Park plant, which was even earlier. So when we would have an annual banquet for service banquet, there were people with 15 years, 20 years employment. And one of the reasons that I think people stayed, as they explain it, is that they became family. They did things together, such as a baseball team. They did things together, such as they had a newsletter that came out, prizes and that sort of thing as far as that goes. So people to this day talk about working at Mastercraft Fabrics. I hope that people will start talking about Cardinal Tissue that way, because we've been here almost 5 years producing, and I think that we are building the same type of family. You can see the picture at the bottom on the Mastercraft is a coin. I have in my pocket today the coin that Cardinal Tissue also has a coin with our cardinal on it. So I think that we are following in some good footsteps as far as becoming one of the premier employers of Rutherford County. So as Mastercraft Fabrics, they were purchased in 1997 by Joan Fabrics, and then they closed as of the end of 2005. And I think Bill already talked about it. The dirty word that we all say is NAFTA. So what we found is that the cheap labor in China and Mexico, we could not compete. And even though we were making an awesome quality product, the plant was closed. As Bill will tell you, I have firsthand experience writing the Warren notice. I have firsthand experience meeting with people and laying quite a few people off. But then I've also experienced the pleasure of people finding something else to do when they took advantage of going back to school and finding out who they wanted to be after textiles. So after 2005, 207 Oakland Road was empty, and it was sad. You could drive by it, and everyone would say, that's where Mastercraft Fabric was, the old Mastercraft building. And it was empty for 6 years until Diamondback Tactical, with grants and everything else, moved into the facility and refurbished it for them to be a sewing operation, and they produced the bullet-resisting vests. So they were doing well, had a great contract. Then some different decisions were made, and from 124 employees, we went down to 1 in 2017 when we closed the location there, and that one person was me. So we closed the facility, and this is a really cool picture. Google Earth amazes me. You can see the 207 Oakland Road Diamondback Tactical in 2013, and then you can see the awesome picture now in 2023. And you can see that it has gotten a facelift in that it's been painted, and a lot of nice things have happened to it. So 2018, Mr. Vince Reese announces that he is going to open a manufacturing facility in Spindale, started renovating the 207 Oakland Road, and by May 2019, we were shipping product. In 2020, we were 24/7, and in 2021, end of 2020, we had installed a second line. So today, we're at 75 employees strong and growing. So this is one of my favorite quotes from Vince Reese, and he'll have to excuse me, but I love that he says it's not very glamorous to be making toilet paper. However, it's not like making Ferraris, but it's definitely a product that people need. They have to have it, and they rely on it. As someone who's gotten laid off from textiles, I was happy to find a place that really would be unlikely for the business to go to China or Mexico. So they told us when we were going back to school that healthcare was the place to be. I'll tell you today, no, it's not. It's toilet paper. So just to see some pictures, and I put these up here mostly if anybody here watches or has been in the building to see some of the amazing changes that Vince Reese has made to the building. You can see the tile, you can see the paintings on the wall, you can see the tin on the wall that just gives it a beautiful look and totally changes it from what it was as Diamondback and before that Mastercraft. So here's just some of the really cool technology, because like was said, people today have to be more technologically advanced than ever before. You have to be able to read and write, and you have to be able to run these machines. Okay. You can see our winder. If you go to our website, you can click on the video and actually see toilet paper going down the conveyors, and it's really, really cool. So I encourage you to do that. So the big question today is, do you have what it takes to be a cardinal? We're positive, enlightening, persistent, we're passionate, we endure, and we have the strength to keep going. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. So that is all of our presenters for today. I hope you all enjoyed the presentation. And my key takeaway is that manufacturing and textiles today are not what I grew up thinking they were. They're a lot different, a lot cleaner, a lot nicer, and a lot better jobs than what I think of from when I was growing up. So if y'all would join me once again in a round of applause for our guest speakers today.